Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up this morning, guys. It is finally freaking Friday. Thank God we made it to the weekend. Just get through today and it's smooth sailing from here on out. But first, man, I can't believe that we're talking about another freaking hurricane. I have a lot of friends that are down in the Lake Charles area in Louisiana and stuff, and a lot of you followers and stuff. Please be safe. I can't believe that we're going through this again. Man, my thoughts and prayers to Lake Charles. Lake Charles is still recovering from the last hurricane. I know there's a lot of houses down there with blue tarps and stuff on there. The ground is saturated, limbs and trees are falling. It's going to be devastating for another hurricane. It's a category 3 right now. It's going to be a lot of storm surge, a lot of rain that's going to get dumped. And man, I just can't believe the devastation to the country this year. It's just unbelievable. And we have to start really looking out for others. So, not the way you want to start the weekend, but let's hope and pray that nobody loses their life. You know, a house can be rebuilt, a person can't. So, last night, I don't know if you watched the game at all. I can understand Tom Brady because he's got that look that I have sometimes. That look right now. Last night, the Bears, Nick Foles comes back. Don't call it a comeback because he's been here for years. Ends up driving his team down for a leading field goal. Tom Brady, although they made mistakes, okay. Matt Nagy should be killed because they're sitting here throwing the football, incomplete passes that are keeping the clock stopped, giving Tom Brady and stuff more crew. Had they just run the ball, they could have left him with less than 30 seconds. But Tom Brady looked to have a senior moment last night. He thought it was still third down, thought he had another shot on fourth down. He had a pass was overthrown, and he had actually, if you watch, this is after the play, after they turned it over on downs. Bam!
Chicago.
He's like,
Chicago. Chicago.
what?
Chicago. Chicago. Chicago.
Yeah,
Chicago. Chicago. Chicago.
yeah, that was Chicago, but definitely had that senior moment where he looked like he just didn't know exactly what's going on. And feel me on this. When you get my age, you'll have quite a few of those. You'll have those on a regular basis. You'll lose your keys and not know where they are. And then your son says, they're right there. So Father Time is still undefeated. Shout out to the Bears and Nick Foles. And I'm just curious because last week Philly 500 was killing his team and everything else, and said it's time to get ready to start blowing this thing up. This week he's like, yeah, how's it feel to be down there in the basement of the NFC East? Because the view up here is great. It's like, wow, really? One victory did all that for you guys. But I'm curious if the Folian Society, as Philly 500 calls it, will start rearing its ugly head since Nick Foles has had two starts. He's got more touchdown passes than Carson Wentz. Chicago Bears, unbelievably, are 4-1. This is the great thing about the NFL. We had all of these talking heads that looked at everything and said, oh, this team's going to be great. This team's going to be great. Blah, blah. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, they're going to be great. And they're doo-doo. And here it is, the Bears are 4-1. 4-1. They had our Cowboys as a Super Bowl championship type team. And we have the worst defense in football. I hate to put it out there like that, but that's the reality of it. So you really just don't know. They have to play it out. But after the first 2 weeks of the season, Arizona Cardinals looked really, really good, and all of a sudden they lose two. So I always say you don't know what you have till really October. People thought Tampa Bay would be just running away with everything, and they're they're not bad, but they're not great either. So it's a long season. So don't give up just yet. We may end up having Tyron Smith going to IR. He may end up going for the season with neck stingers. That's devastating. It's not what you want to hear. It's bad. But if you look across the NFL, everybody has injuries, so you can't use that as an excuse. This all goes down to what your front office has been developing for players. If we didn't learn from 2017 about the importance of Tyron Smith and how bad it is, excuse me, when you lose him, then we deserve what we get for not planning. It sucks, but it is what it is. I have faith, I have hope, and I will also say the NFL is a week-to-week league, as Philadelphia proved last week, because they were ready to kill everybody last week. This week, they're pounding their chest. And if they lose this week, they'll be ready to kill everybody. Or if they win, they'll be pounding their chest. Now, for our Cowboys, we've been passing the football so damn much. But the reality is we're getting yardage. You got Zeke Elliott getting 3.9 yards a carry. Losing Tyron Smith doesn't help that. You have to learn how to evolve what you're doing to situation. Analytics. And sometimes I think maybe Mike McCarthy is relying on analytics a little too much because of all the times that we continue to go for it and fail. You have to start now realizing the things that are your strengths. Of course, the receiver core is your strength. You also have to look at and say, because you still have Zeke Elliott, play action has been great. You're third in the NFL in making yards on play action. And the amount of yards you're making on each play is off the charts. So with Tyron Smith gone, the game plan has to be play action. It has to be about moving the pocket. It has to be about Dak Prescott using his legs to buy time in the backfield, as well as become another threat to slow down the pass rush. Because here's what you end up doing. Teams are going to blitz you. Where the blitz comes from, okay, if you've got the linebackers blitzing, there's a hole from where they come. You're throwing into the blitz because that's going to be a soft spot. You have to now start realizing that the 7-step dropbacks, you have to use those less and less, because if your offensive line can't hold up, your quarterback's going to get hit. You got to start using quick hitting. Boom. Start using your screen passes. These things will slow down the rush with the defense. It will put a little bit of uncertainty into the defender's mind. If you end up being just a straight pocket quarterback, and this is the reasons I say that when you think of about a Andy Dalton, or you think about a Joe Flacco, or the Colts quarterback and stuff, Phillip Rivers, that in today's football, having a stationary quarterback is a disadvantage. You need a guy who can move to buy time, because if I know you're going to be there every single time, I'm pinning my ears back and I'm coming after you. I'm not worried about anything but getting to that spot. But if you have a quarterback that moves outside the pocket, that's, bootlegging, okay, then that means I have to be careful that I don't get too far up in here, sucked in, that the quarterback goes around and I'm sucked over here and can't get there. Now he's outside. He's broken outside contain. And these are things that I hope that Mike McCarthy gets together. I hope that Mike McCarthy and Mike Nolan have felt a little pressure this week, that they're a little bit on the hot seat, and that they need to coach better, game plan better, and motivate better. Because if we show up the way we did last few weeks, it's going to be a long season. But I want to see these guys man up and change the narrative. You don't want to have Michael Irvin saying that we got the Oprah defense. You get 40 and you get 40 and you get 40 and you get 40. Bro, we got to do better than this. All right, y'all. That's our morning report here. We'll see what happens today. Personally, Mike McCarthy has been so secretive about making sure nobody gets any looks of plays or numbers and things like that about what's going on, that he's trying to keep everybody confused, that maybe it seems that the players are confused too. The way they had set up their structure is Wednesday and Thursday were the big practices. Friday's a walkthrough. I dare say that they need to reevaluate that and need to do some practicing on Friday as well. Because if that's rested, the performance I saw on the defense, bro, got to do better than that. All right, y'all. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.